give, actually give the floor to Joey here. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for coming to Joey and giving us your time. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem. Anytime. So what's up, everybody? I'm Joey. I have been on Amazon for about 3 years. Before that, like I said, I ran a large restaurant, sports bar. Worked for a large chain here in Florida. I won't name them because they fired me when they found out I was doing Amazon. So, don't want to sway anybody's perceptions of that company. But I had a great time working for them. And then earlier this year in January, I got deactivated on Amazon for about 8 days. That's where all the gray in my beard came from. They had a little over $50,000 worth of inventory, and my payout was supposed to be the following day, and it was about 30 grand. Um, so really kind of opened my eyes to how leveraged I was in the business. I always thought, I'm not going to use credit. I'm not going to get loans. I'm just going to grow the business off my profits. But then I realized being all in on one platform really put me in a disadvantage. So I spent probably the next 30 days really digging into eBay and Walmart, um, really trying to, at first, just trying to pay the bills. I probably had a couple months worth of money saved up, set aside, but I had never really anticipated a deactivation coming my way. But I was able to get my account back in about 8 days. But I took a lot of profit from Amazon and just sunk it into Walmart. Jumped on the platform, and my first sale was January 26th of this year. Um, and today I broke 200 grand for the year. So have done almost 10,000 orders. I think I'm at like 9,900 orders fulfilled. So didn't really have a goal when I got started, but that's kind of where we are now. Obviously, I've learned a lot along the way. I got to share some stuff with you guys tonight. But obviously, I am in a lot of discords. I am a co-owner of the Buy Box, where we have a lot of guides up there that we've done. But that's me in a nutshell. I would say the biggest thing about Walmart, people always ask me like, why Walmart? Well, A, why not? Just talking about numbers, yes, there's a lot less volume on Walmart. Walmart did 100 billion last year, as opposed to Amazon doing a little over 700 billion. So yeah, they do about 80% less sales. But in October last year, they only had 150,000 third-party sellers compared to 2.1 million on Amazon. So you have 95% less competition for 80% less sales. So in my mind, that's some pretty good math. Um, they have been up 30% 4 quarters in a row. They've been up double digit percentage 6 quarters in a row in the US marketplace. So, not saying that Amazon's not going to grow, but Amazon's growth, I think, over the same time was like 4%. So the opportunity to grow your business and grow your sales across Amazon is going to be challenged, not only by, whether it's placement fees, low inventory fee, uh, you know, section three, deactivation, whatever. Um, but there's only so much of the Amazon pie left out there. Not saying it's saturated. I mean, I personally am down, I think like 15% um, on Amazon, which is probably like 50 grand. But obviously, I made up for it in Walmart. But there's also more profit on Walmart. I see across the board about 5 to 8% net profit. So there's less volume, but more money. So for me, I'd rather see green than orange any day of the week. That's, how we fund our business, how we fund our lives, that kind of thing. Um, Now there is a big increase in sellers. I think seller onboarding in Q1 was up almost 40%. they did onboard like 45,000 new sellers. So we were joking about this yesterday. I just got approved in a Ungate case for KitchenAid that I submitted August 14th. So it took 2 months and 3 days to get approved. In February, Ungates took me 3 days. So there's going to be challenges on the platform as they're growing, but you can also be part of that growth. So those are some of the main reasons. Some other reasons: a lot of brands are becoming restricted on Amazon. LOL, toys, Levi's, clothing. A lot of the beauty brands that have been restricted this year. Last week they did what Mattel Games, Hasbro, Banai, or Bandai, which is like Dragon Ball Z. Those went restricted on Amazon. Parts of those went restricted on Walmart as well. But generally speaking, if Walmart's going to restrict a brand, they give you 30 to 45 days notice. We just got an email earlier this week for a beauty brand, and they told us that they were going to restrict it on December 1st. So now we have 5 weeks to liquidate our product, probably sell it at a profit instead of a loss. So I think customer service is another reason. If you're a new seller, definitely would love to have this, but a new seller, you get an incubation agent to help you across your platform for the first 90 days. I would say save that person's email and make them your best friend. They can fast track ungates for you. They can help you with any error listings or any type of things. The platform itself is just very wonky. I don't know any other way to say it. There used to be a time, probably 2 months ago, where you really couldn't get anything done after 9 o'clock. We used to call it Walmart after dark. Like everything would either stop working or take that much more time to get things done. I mean, we had days where we couldn't add products, you couldn't add anything seller fulfilled, or if you could add it seller fulfilled, you couldn't convert it to Walmart fulfilled. As long as you're willing to put up with the quirkiness and the challenges, I think there's a lot of money to be made. They are probably trying to grow a little bit faster than they have the capability to. They have had third-party sellers since 2009. So you'd think, oh, well, you'd think they figured it out in the last 15 years, but they're really trying to go from 0 to 100. I know that from talking to them at the summit, they're severely understaffed. They only have 26 fulfillment centers in the entire country. So they do automatically route you to the closest facility to you. So that helps out a lot. Average inbound with Amazon. And the good thing about that is, I tell everybody test buy everything. So you can afford to send in 20 units and it not hurt you. You can afford to send in, I think my first shipment was 200 units, but it was I think it was 25 SKUs of like 8. I just sent in 8 of everything. There's not a lot of software out there to help you. They have things like Martyr, DataSpark, Wally Smarter, Sellify, some other stuff like that. But they're all just the guesses, right? Walmart doesn't share their API. They don't share their data. They don't, they have competition like Target and other places that Amazon don't experience. So Amazon's free to share their data. Walmart's not going to do that. I don't see them doing it anytime soon. So you're not going to see a sales rank. Even if you do see a sales rank, it's going to include in-store sales. Walmart doesn't have the ability to separate that out yet. They haven't gotten that far. So anything that you see that has a sales estimate, it's trash. And I mean, I use Martyr, I use DataSpark, I've used Wally Smarter, I've paid for all of them. I'm currently using Sellify. I'm a big fan of ScanPower because it's a Walmart and Amazon tool, so it's one tool and I can use both. Um, they're going to tell you like you need verified reviews, you want ratings to be above 4 stars. Um, and I'll listen. I sold an item that DataSpark told me I was going to sell four of. The first month I sold 225. I had an item that Martyr told me it was going to sell 50 times. I sold five. I had another one told me it was going to sell four, and I sold 25 the first day. So as long as you understand that the best data you're going to have is data that you make yourself. You're going to test buy. You're going to go wider than you ever would with Amazon. But when you find those items that hit, the great thing about Walmart, if you happen to be in a Discord that has a stock checker or some type of ability, you can type in a UPC, even on on Walmart.com, and you can find items locally to you, whether you do an RA or OA. I guess I should have touched on that. I do like 90% of RA. I'm in the streets every day. I put 55,000 miles on my truck last year. I don't see it slowing down. It's just I'd rather have the extra 10% in profit margin than sit behind a computer all day. That's just me. So that would be probably the biggest thing for why Walmart. A lot of things that are coming down the pipe this year that they rolled out at the summit. Multi-channel fulfillment, which already rolled out last month. They're going to be doing non-branded, non-logo boxes, partnering with FedEx. So if you want, you can actually order those boxes for free on FedEx.com now. So if you're ever looking for, a lot of people talk about the UPS security boxes, the two sizes they have. FedEx has 2 or 3 other sizes that are going to be free now. They're going to come in brown with the green recycle logo. That launched already. They're going to start doing cross-border fulfillment for not only LTL, FTL, but also actual ocean freight. So you'll be able to get access to discount if you run Shopify or you have private label stuff. You'll be able to get discounted freight from Asia shipped into the ports in LA. On average, Walmart fulfillment is about 15% cheaper than Amazon fulfillment for whatever reason. They have already launched Canada and Mexico, and later this quarter, they're going to launch Chile as a marketplace. I don't know why, but the good thing about that is Chile is on an opposite seasons from us because of where they're located. So it could be an opportunity for you to offload, like if you're trying to liquidate at the end of a season, instead of liquidating at cost or at a loss, you could just send it to Chile and let Walmart ship it for you and probably sell it for full price. And there's a lot of people think there's no money to be made. I have a little example right here, but this little, see if my camera will work. This is a Leopold binoculars. I got them for $54 on clearance. In the US, they sell for $109. In Canada, they sell for $200 Canadian, which is about 170 bucks US. And average shipping into Canada for something under a pound is about 25 bucks. So there's money to be made in those marketplaces as well. They did they did 15% discount on all Walmart fulfillment fees through the end of the year for international marketplaces. They're not going to charge you storage fees for your first 365 days. So they're not at a point where they can fulfill Canada and Mexico from the US. So you have to ship specifically there. But if you want to do some test buys or use some of the product that you already have, they're not going to charge you a storage fee for a year. So you can send whatever you want and see how it sells, see what works, see what sells the best. And then you're also going to get 50% off commission fees for your first 90 days. So instead of the 15%, they're only going to charge you 7.5%, which can be really, really good. Um, the collectible category just went live. Um, you know, whether it's graded, cards, comic books, whatever, or luxury bags, things of that nature. They are going to be rolling that out. It's going to be 0% fees through this month. And then they also partnered with, they're doing, you might have seen it online this week. Walmart starting to do Collector Con, which is kind of like a knock from Dragon Con and comic book conventions, where they're trying to get the word out in the space that they're really trying to add collectibles as a category. So you can sell, used items with certificate of authenticity. You can sell graded items. You can sell non-graded items. They're going to offer, and then with doing that, you can select your own return policy for those items. So you don't have to worry about like switcheroos or things like that. They are rolling out premium beauty. They have partnered with 40 premium brands. They're going to be setting up kind of like, I would compare, they compared it to like Sephora inside of Kohl's. They're going to call it Beauty Space. It's going to be within all the Walmarts nationwide. That's going to start rolling out next year. And then one of the biggest things that a lot of people were really excited about was refurbished items. It's going to be branded as resold at Walmart. You're going to be able to have premium tiers. They're going to also roll out a serial number capture program. So if you want to do like use cell phones or something like that, as long as, well, cell phones probably not a good example. As long as a serial number is on the outside of the package, they will match the serial number when it sells from WFS, and they will match it if they get a return. So if somebody tries to like order a computer from you and then return a different computer, they're going to highlight that obviously as fraud and they'll deny the return. So it's a little bit more protection for sellers. They are, with the restored program, you're going to have luxury fashion, electronics. Obviously, you can sell used items. They're also rolling out a big return program. You're going to have a return dashboard within Seller Center. Currently, they're using advanced AI to identify fraud shoppers. So every now and then you might get, hey, we suggest you cancel this order due to suspected fraud from the buyer on your seller fulfilled items, which is helpful. And then items that are returned for lost after delivery, damaged, undelivered, or late delivery will be automatically reimbursed to you, just like capturing the sale. They haven't mentioned when they're going to roll that part out. And then they have 2 new returns-based programs that they're going to be rolling out with that return dashboard. One's going to be called Keep It, where, say it's not worth it for you to pay the return label. You can offer the customer to keep the item and dispose of it, or just keep it and you don't want to deal with it. Or you can do partial Keep It, which would be offering them a discount so that they can keep the item. So if they order something and they're like, oh, this got damaged and, it got damaged. Okay, well, will you take 15% off? And just keep it, give them the 15%, and just keep from having to deal with that. Now, the good thing about that, because I get a lot of complaints because they offer returns in stores. Right now, obviously, with WFS, they can return it in the store. And the challenge with that, the stores only mail those out, from what I've seen, is like once a week. So they might authorize a return, and you have the employee, right, that's at Walmart, that we know they're not probably the greatest employees. They don't love their life the way we do. They get that return, and it's up to them to judge whether or not it's able to be resold as new. So you're kind of at their discretion, and you can't challenge that until you get it back. But they use FedEx, but they only send them out like a couple times a week. So I've had to wait 7 to 10 days to get a return before. And a lot of times they're not going to offer you, or they'll offer you 20%. sight unseen, but you can upload pictures and things like that and get a higher rate of return. So when I do seller fulfilled, I try to focus on items that I can afford to use FedEx or UPS, so I have the photo evidence of delivery. Um, but those are rolling out. Um, yeah, I think those were the main things that they rolled out at the summit that was going to be coming down the pipe this year. Um, and I don't know, man. You guys got some questions? I feel like I've been talking for like a day.
We were told to keep quiet while you were presenting.
Oh, okay, I got you. No worries.
I got a question.
Yo, shoot.
Earlier in your presentation, you mentioned that in your first 90 days or something, you get um, a person from Walmart to help you out.
So it's not you're so what I have heard recently is they have been assigning what they've called incubation agents to new sellers that get approved. Now I've only been hearing about that for probably like the last 30 days or so. So I've been telling everybody that I've talked to that has applied. Now I know some people that have account reps that have been with Walmart for a lot longer. Um, and I've asked them to ask their account rep how to get like how do you get one? Because like I'd pay for one at this point.
Yeah, I've been on the platform under 60 days and I knew nothing about it. Nobody told me an email, no contact, I was just
Yeah, I
wondering
mean,
how to get that.
yeah, I have no idea. I got an email earlier this week from a rep saying they needed to speak to me. I responded to the email, and it's been like 3 days. So I think the problem is as they're starting to assign reps because they're so understaffed, like maybe one rep's supposed to handle like 30 or 40 accounts, and they're probably getting, like I have an account for Canada, and they've helped me more than the rep in Canada has helped me more than I could even ask for. So
Okay. Well, thanks for that. I'll look into it too and see what I can find out.
yeah, no problem.
Can I answer that a little bit? I just got signed up with Walmart the other night,
Nice.
Definitely.
and luckily mine was an instant approval. The lady called me the next day with the information and emailed me probably 5 or 6 emails. And she says she's my account rep already. I'm trying to find her name.
Hold on to that lady with your life. Like as long like they're gonna assign her to you for 90 days. Anything that you can possibly think of that you want to get done, whether it's ungating brands, whether it's now certain things you can get reps assigned to you, like if you want to run an SEM or you want to run some type of marketing campaign, they will assign you a special rep for that. But that account rep can literally save you so many headaches.
This lady sent me the information to get ungated and the ads to throw the ads. And,
Yeah.
She actually worked for Amazon for a period of time, she said.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
she understands both platforms.
Hi, Joey.
What's up?
Hi, everybody. I have a question. For like the luxury fashion and like the premium beauty, do you have to get engaged to do that
You
kind
do. So most of the ungates are pretty much the same way. I had a buddy of mine send me over. He got a luxury request from Nike today. He's been trying to get ungated in Nike since August as well. Um, so it basically says, what brands of watches, apparel, handbags will you be offering? Do you have pre-owned inventory? Please provide detailed context on the following. How do you source your products? Do all your pre-owned items go through authentication? What's your authentication process? What's the process entail? What steps do you take should you receive a counterfeit complaint? Do you use third-party authentication? Can you name that provider? I can message you all these questions. Are you an authorized reseller? Are all your items on hand? You know, are your suppliers authorized distributors of the brands? So obviously, if it's used, you know, I think a lot of that really they want to make sure it's authentic. But yeah, I mean, normal Ungate has like 7 questions. This one has, I think, like 13. Um, and if you do submit receipts or whatever, they're supposed to be within the last 6 to 12 months. So they don't want you to sell something that you've had like sitting in your closet for like 3 years.
Oh, okay. So probably not for me then. I have like some premium sweaters that are brand new, and I was like, oh, that's probably be good to sell on there. But I've had
You had a receipt. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting ungated. I mean, I got ungated in collectibles, Halloween, and the pre-order, and I'm not really participating in anything. I just felt like I'd want to get approved in as much stuff as I possibly could while they're just allowing, you know, crazy things like that to happen. So,
Okay, cool. Thank you.
absolutely.
Joey, it's Brian. Got a question for you, man.
Um,
Do you do any kind of like sponsored or advertising content on inside your Walmart account?
So I tried SEM, which is search engine marketing. Um, was not a fan. They had a promotion where if you spent $500, they'd give you a $250 credit. So I did that twice. And what happened was, I've heard it's gotten a little bit better, but what happened was they used my $500 in like the first like 10 days. They used like $450. And then the last 4 days, they didn't use any. So I never actually spent the whole 500, so I couldn't get the credit. So basically, I spent $1,000 and got 0 credit. So I was like, okay, we're not doing that anymore. Like, no. So, but the Walmart Connect had success with it. The problem is they want you to, they don't have like the ability to do like a PPC campaign like Amazon does. I asked them about it, but their Walmart Connect ads, they'll give you a rep and they want you to basically create a campaign. The problem is your items have to have a content quality score above, I think, 80% to be able to do a campaign on. And which means like they have to have great images, they have to have great details, and they have to have a desirability. So what happens when you do that is it'll put you kind of like in the feature offer, right? Where you'll be, you know, in the first 4 things that pop up in the search when somebody searches it. And the other option is dependent upon the amount of money that you put per click. They can also put you in the carousel at the bottom for, you know, people that have bought this have also bought that. So that's called Walmart Connect. That's been more successful. But at the end of the day, it's really like they're at the very beginning stages. I think the people that have success with those are using an outside service. But I know people that do it, you know, whether they're, you know, big sellers. But again, it's one of those things where you just got to test it yourself and figure out what works best for you and your business. You know, you might not have the capital to put forth. You know, and I don't know that you really need it. If you just buy things that are popular, obviously that's the biggest challenge, right? Because you don't have the sales rank. You know, everybody wants sales rank or they want Keepa. But at the end of the day, like there's a way, right? You look at, you know, number of verified reviews, you look for badges, whether it's in 50 people's carts, in 200 people's carts, you know, 500 bought since yesterday, those kind of things. I mean, and if it's in somebody's cart, that means they're buying it online, right? Then you look at other things like there's a lot of items that Walmart doesn't sell online. They only sell in the store, right? So if you can buy an item, there's items that I buy directly off the Walmart shelf, full price, and just sell it for a 250% markup on Walmart.com because Walmart themselves doesn't sell it online. I don't know why. Maybe they only got a certain amount, and that amount they allocated specifically to each store. You know, there's a ton of stuff available off the shelf at Target. Stuff that's like Target exclusive. All you have to do is pull the little Target exclusive sticker off and you can sell it. There's plenty of stuff that you can sell for I got a couple items that I sell for three to 500% markup, buying it directly off the rack at Target and just shipping it to WFS. Now there's a lot of test buys along the way, but I will say that if you want to look at massive amounts of sales volume, you're probably looking under $20, right? But I've had success selling items for $400. I've had success selling items consistently from, you know, 75 to $120. I mean, I had a bolo we have a bolo in our Q4 group right now that you're picking up anywhere from 40 to $60. It sells for 130, and anybody that buys more than 10, they sell all 10. I sold 24 in a day and a half at $130. So like, there's people spending money on Walmart. Like, there's this misconception that because Walmart wants to offer the lowest price, that you have to sell cheap things, and that's just not the case. I mean, I have a replen item that I spend $100+ for on Amazon, and I sell it consistently at $2.99 on Walmart.com. Seller fulfilled or Walmart fulfilled. Now, there are quirkiness things like when Amazon drops the price like that, Walmart wants to match that price. And whereas Amazon will suppress the buy box for 72 hours, right, before the buy box comes back at the previous higher price, Walmart doesn't like to do that. They will leave, especially if it's out of stock. If it's not available, it'll pull the price from Amazon for the next 3 months until you open a case, and you just do and they want you to basically submit a URL to a link from another website showing the price is accurate, and they'll accept it. It's got to be from like a legit, like Kohl's, Amazon, Home Depot, whatever. They're not going to take like some random website. But if you submit it, that specific item, I've had it get search or buy box suppressed on Walmart, unpublished for high price error. I've had it republished twice by doing that process. So you just have to go through the procedures and just deal with the issues. But I would say 75% of my catalog is from Walmart. I just go to stores and buy up all their clearance and resell it. I would say probably the other 25% is either from Amazon or Walmart.com, maybe. I mean, a couple other, RA stores, Ross, Ollie's, things like that. But yeah, I would say 75. If you just buy clearance at Walmart as you're testing, and even if you have an OA model, just go to Walmart and see what's on clearance and look at it and see if you can reverse source it from there. But you'll find out that the things that people go to Walmart for are what sells on Walmart. Toys. The bad thing about toys is you can't really look at reviews, right? What parent reviews toys for their kids? Maybe if it breaks, right? They're like, oh, this is a piece of crap. But literally, one of the first items I sold back in February that really kind of got me hooked was I was buying it full price at Walmart. I still sell it. It's a Godzilla figure called Shimo. It's a white dinosaur with like a blue spine from the movie. It sells for $9.97. You can find them at your local Walmart. And I was selling them from anywhere from $33 to $45, and I was selling 20 a day. I literally have pictures of me going to Walmart and buying every one of these dinosaurs, and I never even watched the movie. And I was like, all right, I guess I should watch the movie now. I made a couple grand. So, but it's just like that, where, you don't know what you don't know. It's so new to everybody. I mean, I don't know that anybody can say that they have it figured out, even with Amazon, I mean, so I think you just have to understand that going in. I think Chris Grant said it best: don't put more than 10% of your capital into any one brand or any one ASIN. You don't want to go super deep until you have that knowledge built up, and then you just kind of figure it out. I mean, I think toys do great, especially this time of year. I think household stuff is solid. There's a lot of times where Walmart will, or the brand, right? They're running out their product from the end of the year and they're rolling over a new model, right? So similar to Amazon, where the old model or the old UPC, right, has the best sales rank because it's got the 12 months of history. So as Walmart's rolling that out, like earlier this year, they phased out water filters. They phased all their 3M water filters out and they switched to Culligan. So I was buying water filters from $8 to $15 and reselling them on Walmart for like 75 bucks. You know, I mean, I was walking into a Walmart and spending $500 on water filters. I've never even sold, never even thought about selling, um, and, they were selling like crazy. And then the good thing is when you do find really good items, the inventory, the success management hub within inventory will tell you sometimes like, hey, you can send 50 of these, you can send 40 of these, so you can take that UPC, throw it in a stock checker, and if you can find more in your area, more power to you. You're going to make more money.
I have a question. So you kind of answered it a little bit, where it was saying that in the beginning you just kind of did lots of test drives. But what I wanted to ask is in the very beginning, like when you're sourcing for the first time at Walmart and you don't have, the extra software yet, I'm just scanning things in the clearance aisle with the Walmart app. And I bought like 3 different kinds of toys. And the reason I bought them was I was getting them for like $1 or $2 on clearance. So my, investment was very small. And I could see that they're listed at a very good price. And I saw a lot of pro sellers are on the listing. So in the beginning, is it just trying to buy really cheap, seeing if it actually sells, or would you recommend that I, go ahead and invest in some of these other softwares to help me make these decisions? Because I just feel like I'm buying without a lot of solid data, which I know that's the case with Walmart.
So I'm not going to ever tell you to go out and get some software. That's just, I don't feel like that's going to solve your problem. Once you kind of learn the platform, I think all the software will do right now is kind of reaffirm your data. Everything tells you the exact same information, right? And what matters so I use the shopping app in the store, because that's where you get the price, right? That's the other problem with the software. A lot of times, like I won't tell you how many people walk by something because they're scanning with Martyr or ScanPower or whatever, and it's pulling the online price, right? I got pictures upon pictures of like, oh, this clearance tag says $19. I can't sell it. But when I scan it with the shopping app, it's $5 and it sells for $40. So now I'm buying everything I can find, right? So I think what I look for, and this is just me, I look for verified purchases under the rankings, right? So like you click on, it'll have the rating across the top, which I don't care about. If it's not, all right, maybe I won't say I don't care about it. If it's a toy, I don't care about the rating, right? I don't care if it's a 1-star, a 2-star, or whatever, because it's for kids, man. Like I said, I don't think parents really. I think if you give a toy a 1-star, you're probably like 15 years old and you spent your money and you broke it or something. I don't know. That's just me. I don't think parents really rate their kids' toys. Maybe they do. I don't know. I got 2 kids. Don't care. So I'm looking at the rating, but right next to that is the review count, right? So I'm not so money concerned if it's got like 8 reviews or 800 reviews. I'm clicking on those and I'm looking to see verified purchases, right? I don't even care if it's incentivized reviews, right? Because as a seller, as a pro seller, I can incentivize people to buy my stuff, right? I get a certain amount of dollars every month that I can say, hey, I'll give you $5 off if you buy this from me or something like that. So I'm looking for verified purchases within the last 12 months. If it has got 1 review in the last 12 months, I'm gonna buy it. Now, I will buy more of the item at your price point that you're talking about. Now, what I have found is about 20% of my orders are multi-unit. Like somebody's ordering two of the same thing. So I have chosen myself to go a little bit deeper with my test buy. So I try to do, originally I was doing like 3 to 5, but I had a couple items where somebody ordered 3 of them. And for me, one order is not enough data to see like what kind of movement I'm going to get. So I moved that test buy up to like 8 to 10. Right. But once you start seeing sales and you start getting that feedback of your own data, you'll figure it out and you'll get more confident. Like when those water filters started selling, there was one that was selling better than the other 5, but it made enough sense to just buy the entire store out so that I wasn't competing with a lot of people. Now, the other thing I will look at, especially this time of year with toys, is number of sellers, right? And that's a problem that's really just started happening in the last like 3 months, because in February, I don't think I had a listing across 300 SKUs that had more than 4 sellers, right? No competition. But now I'm jumping on listings where I see 20 sellers. So in that scenario, I'm not going as deep. You know, I have an item that I'm going to the stock checker tomorrow, right? And I'm trying to pick up 100 of them because I can buy it for 20 and I can sell it for 70, and I'm one of 3 sellers. So an item like that, I'm buying everything I possibly can. Sorry, I was staring at that person and they moved. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so I mean, it's really all about building out your own data. So, you know, if you want to take, you know, 2 or 3 grand and go hit every Walmart you can in your area and go as wide as possible and start building out a catalog. I mean, I wouldn't say I went that far wide, but I spent a lot of money in February, March, and April. I think so. I will tell you this: in March and April, April and May, each month I sent 2,800 units into WFS each month. But then I didn't send another item in for 60 days. And so my store kind of ran on autopilot because I was focused back on Amazon. And I did about 25 grand each month. And so to be able to source it that heavily for 2 months and then not touch it for 2 months and still be able to do 25 grand and make profit, that was great, because I was like, okay, how do you manage both platforms when some months are crazy busy on Amazon for me, and I do a lot of FBM as well. So I mean, I probably, like, I have some Mondays where I'm shipping 300-400 units, you know, orders. So I think that is a good way to start out as well, you know, if you just send a bunch of stuff. So it really just takes the time to figure it out.
And were your test buys mostly WFS or seller fulfilled?
So it got to a point where I just went all my test buys to WFS, because, you know, here's the thing about, like, you know, the reason that everybody says like, oh, I want to be a pro seller, you know, what does it matter? I mean, it really, from a savings standpoint, I don't know that it matters, right? I think it says I saved like $450 over the last 90 days. But what happens is Walmart it's like a video game, right? So if you're a seller fulfilled and you're not a pro seller, you're the white belt, right? You're the scrub. You know, if you're seller fulfilled and you're a pro seller, now you're above that person. If you're Walmart fulfilled and you're not a pro seller, you're still above the the pro seller that's seller fulfilled, right? So if you're Walmart fulfilled, you get about 10% more. Now, these are Walmart numbers, and this is from March, I think. So don't quote me on this, but pro seller gets about 10% more than a regular seller. WFS gets about 10% more than a pro seller. If you use the Walmart repricer, the internal one, you get another, 5 to 10% more opportunity to win the buy box. Not that you're going to win it, but you just have a better chance. The more things that you can do to follow the platform, right? If your listing quality scores above 80%, it's eligible for the campaigns, right? So the problem is they're using sellers to build out their catalog because they don't have the ability to do it themselves. So like you might submit something and it asks you for the safety data sheet, but you obviously see 11 sellers there that already had to do it. Well, they probably just uploaded something that was incorrect because back in the day, you could just put in a website and like you could just put in like walmart.com and they would accept it. People didn't realize that like you needed to actually upload the safety data sheet. So I think the more things that you can do to increase your chance to get the buy box or to be, to be in that buy box, you should do it. So most everything now, except for like bolos or things like that, is all Walmart fulfilled. But the good thing is, because it's so cheap, they don't really have so they don't have a box restriction, right? Their box restriction for WFS is basically FedEx restriction. So it can't be more than 150 pounds and it can't be more than like 150 inches wide. It basically just has to fit in a tractor trailer door. So I have this giant box that I have to put my girlfriend inside of to pack it. It's a 36 by 36 cube. And I can tell you I can fit so much stuff in this box, and Walmart accepts it, no problem. Like they'll accept anything. So a lot of times when I order from Walmart.com, I just open it up, verify the units are in there, leave it in the box, and just ship it right back to Walmart in the same box they sent it to me. And because they price match so much, there's so many items that you can buy on Walmart.com. And if you just hold out and just wait for Walmart to run out, you control the buy box at that point.
Want to go, Kim, I guess, and we'll go down the line. I got a couple people with hands raised.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With the increase in sellers, are you noticing that the prices are starting to lower?
On some items, right? Like, and I think too, though, like you'll see, I think the one thing that I do use Martyr for is stock levels, right? So like earlier, like if I said I saw 20 people on something, but if I pull it up with Martyr, and they're actually starting to show this on their website, on their most recent update, they start showing stock levels for other sellers. Just like on the verified reviews, you can see what seller people bought things from, right? So you can do a little storefront stalking, you can do a little cheating, right? And then do some reverse sourcing there. But it's a little bit. But again, most people that I see doing that are probably trying to create capital or they're freaking out because Walmart's matching something, right? They had deal week and they had Prime Day and then they had Circle Week with Target. So there's all these deals coming on. A lot of people, I think, get freaked out because it takes time for Walmart to bounce back their price or to republish their listing. So a lot of people see an unpublished listing for a price gouging or whatever they call it, and they think they need to drop the price when they can just open the case, wait 48 hours, and more than likely the price is going to come back.
Yeah, I like to use Martyr too for that reason, to see stock levels. And then even if Walmart's on there, they share their buy box too. So
oh yeah, so Walmart definitely. So I have an item that I sold earlier this year. I bought 200. Well, I bought like 1,000, but I sent 800 to Amazon, and I sent 200 to Walmart. And of course, my 800 at Amazon sold in like 4 weeks. And in that same, I think 4 to 6 week window, I sold about 40 units at Walmart, which I thought was pretty good. But I was like, I still feel like it was just me and Walmart. I was like, they got to share the buy box. What's going on? So I dropped the price 50 cents underneath Walmart, and I sold 160 units in 3 days. So
Yeah.
they gave me the buy box for the entire time. So they're willing to do that and let you move, let you move your units, let you move your product. I think it's going to be, I think if they lean into third party sellers and just off the fact that they can make 15%, Like, you know, their EBITDA is only like 3.5% a year. Like they don't make money. Like, I mean, they make a large amount of volume of money, but they have stores that lose money that are operating on a regular basis.
Yeah. Do you have a specific repricer that you use, or do you use a Walmart one? Because I feel like the Walmart one, they want me to price too low at my low.
So I just switched to Flash Pricer. So, and I love it. If you message me, I'll send you the link. It's not my code. I'm not an affiliate. I don't make any money, but they're doing 3 free months right now. And they have Amazon capabilities too. So I might test it out just because it's free. But the platform is very user friendly. I started it about a week ago, and it is so far I like it. And we tested Informed, wasn't a big fan. And the main reason we did that because it offered both. You know, Seller Snap talks about offering both, but they only mirror Amazon, right? They don't actually reprice specifically for Walmart. They just mirror whatever your Amazon is. And a lot of times when I'm using Scan Power and I'm scanning for both, I'll just sell on the platform that I can make the highest dollar amount on, unless I know that I can sell a vast more quantity on Amazon. So yeah, I like Flash Pricer, but it's only been a week. But you know, 3 free months for free. I think just for the peace of mind of letting somebody else manage it and not having to update that flat file every week was such a pain. But like you said, Walmart is so focused on offering the lowest possible price, the price would never rebound. I found it would never go back up. So even if everybody else was out of stock and I was the only person on there, it would never go back up and raise my price. So eventually I just was like, I got to get out of this.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that answers my question. Thank you.
Yep.
Joe?
Oh, hey, thank you guys. Hey, and thank you, Joey. This has been awesome. I have yet to use WFS. Can you just speak to the process? Is it similar to FBA?
So it's super easy. So a couple things that are different, right? You cannot seller fulfill and WFS the same item.
Okay.
So the one thing I will tell you is there's a glitch in Walmart. If you seller fulfill something and then you want to Walmart fulfill it, and you know that you're going to send it in, zero out your inventory before you convert it, right? So you can zero it out afterwards, but zero it out before you create the shipment, right? I have had numerous people tell me that, because what happens is, let's say you have 50 of something and you only send 40 in. Those 40 sell, right? And you didn't have, it takes priority, WFS takes priority over self-fulfilled. So those 40 get checked in and those 40 sell. If you have more than 10 in your inventory before you send it in, it starts selling your old inventory. Like it's been a bad problem, and you don't want to cancel orders with Walmart. That is, when people talk about account health, there's not necessarily like an IP complaint or anything like, but if you cancel orders, they will shut you down, and they will shut you down quick. That is one of their biggest metrics that they focus on. For pro seller, and if you don't have a 95% on time rate, I canceled my first order for the entire year like 2 weeks ago, and I was so mad. But anyway, you can't apply to offer priority shipping if your delivery rate is below 95% and your cancellation rate is above 2%. So if you're within those metrics and you don't want to lose the money, cancel it, right? But if you can source it to find it, I would. But anyway, so you're going to add the item seller fulfilled, then you're going to convert it to Walmart fulfilled just because it's easier to do it that way. You can use the bulk upload Walmart fulfillment sheet, but you have to put in so much more items for each item that it's kind of a pain. But once it's says seller fulfilled, WFS eligible, then it's you just go to WFS, you go to shipment, create shipment, you type in your SKU or the name of the item, it pops up, you hit add to order, you put in the number of units, and then you're going to create the shipment. And then the next screen is going to tell you where it's going. It's going to ask you for box contents. But with box contents, you basically just put if there's a single SKU in the box or if it's mixed SKUs. So you don't actually have to put in box contents. So like if I'm doing an order for like 800 items, then I just make sure like I mix stuff up. Like I'll just go through at the end and I'll put like one thing in every box. And that way every single box is mixed SKU. But it is so yeah, I would just say make sure you zero out your self-fulfilled inventory before you create that shipment. But yeah, it's super easy. And again, shipping is the most I've seen is 28 cents a pound on any order.
And Joey, just one more thing. Any lost, are you having issues with your inventory getting lost? How long does it take to get checked in?
So they're going to route you to the closest facility to you. There's no storage limits right now. I don't even know what the peaks or what peak storage fees are, but there's no storage limits. My facility that I get routed to the most is in Davenport, which is about 45 minutes for me. So I do my bulk of my WFS over the weekends and get pickups on Monday. So I was shipping it on Monday. It was getting delivered on Tuesday night. It was getting checked in on Wednesday and started to sell by Thursday morning.
That's great.
I would say it's probably 2 to 3 days slower than that right now. My most recent shipment I sent in on, let's see. Now I'm sending stuff to Jersey. I don't know why. I think the fulfillment center here got hit by the hurricane and it's slow. So I sent in an order on the 17th, which was this past Monday. It's was delivered 3 days ago, and it's 80% received right now. And you can see that throughout the process.
Thank you, Joey.
No problem.
Jalen?
Hey Joey, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I was just curious if you had any advice on getting into contact with Walmart regarding account suspension. Because I'm pretty sure they don't have a phone number I can actually call.
They don't.
Opened 2 cases, but that didn't go in my favorite. So
What do you know what they shut you down for? Or
yeah, auto cancellation.
Okay. If you DM me, I have a email, but it's like I have it saved in my phone, so I'd have to find it, but I can DM it to you. It's basically an email, and kind of some verbiage of like how to word the email.
Gotcha.
But I can email it to you, DM it to you after the call tonight.
Okay, that sounds good.
Amen.
Thank you for that.
No problem.
Andrew?
Hey, this has been awesome, and I hope it keeps going. But Andrew Thompson had posted the same thing at the same time I was thinking of it, labeling for FN SKU the way, Amazon's FN SKU versus commingled inventory.
So
And
all
and
of
I have another one
Walmart's-
after.
Yeah, no problem. All of Walmart stuff is commingled in the fact that if you're able to list with the UPC, you don't have to label it, right? So and any label that you print out is going to be the G10, which is just the UPC with a 0 or 2 zeros in front of it. So what I do when I polybag something is I just put the UPC on the side opposite the suffocation warning. They're less strict on like the stuff that you send in, whether it's like a bundle or a liquid or whatever. But I just follow the Amazon rules and regulations because I'd rather do something too good. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're able to use the UPC is tied to that item, you don't have to label it with anything. but they don't have an FNSKU program at this point. If you print out a label in the Walmart shipment page, it's just the G10. But I have done that for things that like either it's a bundle or whatever. I will print it out and I use a Dymo and it formats fine on the 1x3 label.
It sounds like you know what a G10 is, and I used to, and it's just a little bit larger than a UPC, G10 being worldwide, UPC being US, if I recall.
Yeah, it's the UPC with just 1 or 2 zeros added to it. So it's basically 14 digits. But you know, like Star Wars and some Transformer stuff starts with a 5 and it's 13 digits versus a standard UPC, which is 12. But yeah, that's all the G10 is.
So are you also prepping I'm sorry, you said you're prepping a lot like Amazon. So you're prepping your shipments going into the Walmart fulfillment center in a similar way versus do they have the similar restrictions or they're much more forgiving?
I wouldn't say they're much more forgiving. I would say that I feel like some of their policies are a little bit lax when it comes to like liquids and plush and stuff like that. So I go above and beyond. Like I have some toys that I polybag that are not necessarily required to be polybagged. But it's just my preference on trying to, take care of the product and think about like, this Care Bear, even though it's in a box, the front of it's exposed, right? And it's a plush. I don't want some kid getting a dirty ass Care Bear, right? So like Walmart's technically not going to make me polybag it because it's in a box, but because it's exposed, I prefer to polybag, right?
Right.
I would say generally speaking, now the one thing is they don't technically have a multiple season, right? So people are like, oh, I'm just going to sell chocolate. But at the end of the day, you're going to get a lot of complaints and they're going to probably shut you down. But they do technically not have a multiple season, but they have different restrictions. So like their expiration policy is different. So if the expiration date is not easily readable, you have to put the expiration date on the product. So what you'll find is, what I have found anyway, things like toothpaste, where it's like stamped in the cardboard, but not with a different color. And somehow it's just like an indentation, right? You see that sometimes on cardboard boxes for expiration. They want you to print out a separate label with the expiration. Now, the policy is a little bit more forgiving, where it's 60 days plus the usage of the product, right? So if the product is a 14-day supply, you basically have to get it checked in. It's good until 74 days from expiration, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does.
So whereas Amazon is 90 plus the life of the product.
Have you had a lot of lost inventory sending to the fulfillment centers versus Amazon?
No, but I will tell you, damaged inventory, they refund you within like 48 hours. It is amazing, and they return it to you. I had a shipment get damaged through FedEx. They credited me $1,100 the next day, which is more than I paid for it. And they returned the product to me, and it was basically it was in like a plastic bag container, and the plastic got damaged, but the product didn't. So I just re-polybagged it and sent it back in and sold it. But they had already credited me the money. So I have found that to be that process is a lot better. Now, if there's a discrepancy in your shipment, you have to submit receipts. So what I was doing at the beginning was every receipt was a shipment, so that if I had a problem with that specific shipment, I only had to upload one receipt. But obviously, as you get bigger, a couple things I will make of note is if you register for Walmart Plus Business, it's $96, right? You can actually scan and go in store tax exempt. So you can scan it with the app, put it in your cart. You can create your own shopping list with scan and go. You get to the register, you scan the register, it transfers your shopping list over, automatically applies your tax exempt, and you just make payment. So you don't have to actually scan everything or take anything out of the cart. So it can save you a lot of time and a lot of money. The other thing, this is why I say do it on the business, right? Walmart Plus. If you are buying Walmart Plus on an individual account, you can't use Walmart Plus benefits and resell on Amazon or I mean on Walmart, kind of like A to A flips with Prime. If you have a Walmart Plus business, it's not a violation of their terms of service. And any purchase over $250, you get 2% cash back. So you get tax free and you get 2% cash back. And if you are fancy and you throw on a little Amex credit card point and get 5% on that because you paid for it with your Amex card, now you're getting 7% cash back. So it's a little bit of a benefit. And it saves you, I can't tell you, I don't know if you know this, but because of theft, Walmart's pulling out all their self-checkouts, right? So that's like my concern is like I'm going up to Walmart. I mean, I got pictures where I'm like 5 grocery carts deep on stuff. So the only downside is I think you can only have 99 items. So that's the only downside. But on a general shopping trip, I'm not hitting 99 items. And it's super easy. Can save you so much time. You basically just walk up to the counter, scan the thing on your phone. It automatically downloads everything. You just swipe your card and you're out the door probably in like, I mean, it's got to be less than a minute that I'm at the register. So
Wow.
it's pretty good.
Thank you.
And you don't have to keep up with your receipts because it saves it on your account.
Aha!
So if you have a problem with WFS invoice, you can, or a shipment, and it's all one receipt, you can just send them the order number and they can track it online. You don't actually have to even upload the receipt.
Does it look like an invoice or a receipt?
So online, it's going to actually give you both. It has a printable, like digital order copy, but it also has a scanned copy of what the receipt would look like.
Cool. Oh, you said the self-checkouts are going away? What
Yeah.
I've heard somewhere is that the self-checkouts are Walmart Plus only. Either they're rolling it out or that's
They're doing both. They're doing Walmart Plus only for now, and they're going to start removing them. I had a buddy of mine that was a manager at Walmart, and they have some stores that are considered like high risk. I don't remember what he called them, but Walmart as a company averages like I think like 7% theft. Like they have 7% loss from theft. And I was like, well, you should just call Ross because they tag every fucking thing on the planet. So like you should just use their shit and like you're good. But Walmart's too cheap to do that. So they're just going to yank out self-checkout. But yeah, some stores within Walmart have like 12% theft. Like the store itself actually loses money because they have so much theft. The managers actually get paid like 30% more because of all the violent crime and they have to have police on site and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay, that's the store you close and just turn it into a fulfillment center because there's no way that you as a Walmart should be losing money.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, man.
Aaliyah.
Hey Joey, first of all, we must live close because I'm like 30 some minutes from Davenport. So
Nice.
yeah. Hey, I'm in Winter Haven. I don't know where you're from, but I heard you say that
I'm in
you were close to
Castleberry
Davenport.
right now.
Castleberry?
Yep, just moved. It's near Oviedo and Winter Garden.
Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. I had a couple questions for you. A few of them have already been answered, but you were talking about it's quick to get to the warehouse, and I know for like Amazon to get stuff in before Christmas, it's like November 15th. Is there like a thing for that for Walmart? Like, is that going to slow down so that we should like have a cutoff point? And I guess you didn't really sell last year during Q4 in Walmart, did you? So,
But I know people
okay.
that average like so here's a couple things. Q4 for Walmart doesn't start until November 1st, right? Their fiscal year, it really throws me off sometimes. Their fiscal year starts February 1st. So certain categories like toys, 40% of their sales are in Q4 for the entire year. So I know people that are heavy in toys, and they will go from doing 50,000 a month to doing 200K in September or December. I have seen check-in times. Brian, I'll see you this weekend. Don't be slipping.
All right, homie. Hey, sorry, I got to hop off, but I want to say thank you very much. And yeah, we'll definitely connect this weekend, bro.
Yeah, text me.
All right.
Check-in times have slowed down a little bit, but so Amazon, if you don't know, Amazon sent like that great email saying that anything sent after like October 20th, right? Their staff was going to start focusing on fulfilling orders versus receiving shipments.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything from that from Walmart, and I did talk to a couple big sellers that do like 200,000-300,000 a month that said last year they were sending stuff in up until like Thanksgiving, really trying to get it in. But they haven't said send it in by this for Black Friday, send it in by this for whatever. They haven't done that yet. I don't know if they will. But I'm just going to keep pumping probably generally because I do like Amazon for me is like 70% FBM. So I will probably ship my last FBA shipments before Black Friday to Walmart.
Walmart. Okay.
But generally, I do this crazy thing. I don't like to work in December. So whereas a lot of people are out there slinging, I don't. I worked enough in my life. So I usually take like the last week of December and the first week of January off. But somewhere in there, I usually send out like 2,500 units either to WFS or FBA. So like I basically keep shopping and just keep everything at my house. And then sometime around like January 1st, I just send a bunch of shit in, clear out my inventory. But I don't think, I think Walmart is probably a little bit more prepared just because they're hungrier to do the volume and get their increase. And they were really trying to get to 100 billion last year, and they did like just squeeze it out in Q4. But they had a massive December and January. So I'm anticipating, kind of the same thing.
Okay, awesome. I had a question about you were saying that everything is like communal, so you have no FN SKUs or anything like that. But like you were saying about the Care Bear, like you would put it in a poly bag, but somebody else might not because it's not required. So what happens in that instance? Like since it doesn't have an FN SKU, like and it gets shipped to someone and they're like, whoa, this bear's dirty and disgusting. Like, can that hurt your account health or like
It probably could, but I really think because I haven't had anything like that happen, I gotta think that like I got like a spot, right? In the Davenport warehouse because I sent so much shit. Now they start to make me send to New Jersey. I will say this: all oversized stuff goes to Atlanta. So if one side is bigger than I think 25 inches, don't put it in your shipment because it's going to get split. That was the other thing I was going to say about WFS is I've never had an inventory split, a split shipment, except for oversized. So all oversized units go to Atlanta, but generally, I think out of 70 plus shipments, I've only had like 3 splits. Everything just goes to the same split place. But yeah, I think it could, I guess, because they're not really helpful in removing complaints. Like I got a 1-star complaint, don't even know what they bought. But I think when they roll out the return dashboard, I think that's going to get a lot better for sellers. Because there's going to have, not only are they going to provide a lot more reasons for the buyer to give on why they're returning, they basically are going to track the return logistics. So like whether it's return to WFS or return in the store, how it's getting back to you, right? Because most things they automatically return to you because they don't have a grading process right now, right? Where they can like say like, oh, this is brand new. I mean, maybe some of them just say it, but I've definitely gotten returns from other sellers. So I don't know how that's happened. I got a return on a Halloween costume earlier this week. Never sold it before. I actually got a return on some stuff that I did sell, but it's prepped differently than I prepped it. So I know that's not mine either. But I'm like, you know,
Mm,
I track my, as long as it gets received, I really just kind of let it go after that. Though. Like I can't.
okay. And then my last question is, do you like simply because you do Walmart and Amazon, is there any like separation of that for your tax purposes or that doesn't matter?
Well, for me, it doesn't because I just put it all under my LLC and my pay my lovely accountant to deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think I talked to somebody today that their Amazon was on their social and their Walmart was on their LLC because they had to have an EIN. Um, but I had already had 2 years worth of taxes with Walmart, so at the end of this year, I'll just get, the 1099 from Amazon and from Walmart and give it to my accountant and tell them to pray for me.
Okay. So because you have your LLC, you can put it all together.
Yeah, I thought about
Okay.
separating it out because I know that I make more profit on Walmart. And at some point, right, if you're not going to take, not that you don't take loans, right? I'm just not a big fan of credit. I like to do my own thing. I don't want to be over leveraged. At some point, I'd like to be able to grow Walmart with Walmart's profits and Amazon with Amazon's profits. But as I was trying to get Walmart off the ground, it just didn't seem feasible to separate them because when you're spending all your Amazon money on Walmart inventory, you're like, okay, I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's still the same business. All the money goes to the same account and comes out of the same account. So at this point, I will say this for those of you that like P&Ls, and I just started using Profit Cyclops, and they link your Walmart and Amazon. They have separate P&Ls, but then they combine them together, and they go back 24 months. All you have to do is put the cost in of your items. I know that can seem like a lot, but I put my cost in my SKUs. So I was able to upload all of my Walmart items, like over 1,100 prices in less than like 30 minutes. But yeah, it's a little intense, I think, sometimes when you got money coming in from everywhere. And then like with Walmart, after 90 days and $7,500 in sales, you're eligible to remove the 14-day hold as long as you have over 250 orders, I think. And then after another 90 days and $250 or 250 sales, you can get daily payouts. So now I'm at the point where I get daily payout. I get paid every day from Walmart. So
Nice.
sometimes during Q4, like that's very helpful to continue to like funnel inventory in and to keep, pushing the business hard. So it works out good though.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Robin?
Hi, I wasn't gonna ask because I'm new, but you had a contact for the other gentleman. I've been in verifying status for well over a week, and I can't seem to get past it. And I put in a claim to see why I haven't been verified yet, and that's been 3 days, and I haven't heard anything. So I don't know if that contact you had for the other gentleman would work for me, or if you know how I can reach someone to find out why my account is not being verified.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be more than happy to send you the same email that I sent him.
Okay.
If you DM me, either in Discord or Instagram or whatever. I guess I probably should have just updated my username. But here, hold on, I got you right now. So that's my tag on everything. So
Perfect. Thank you so much. Lots of great
yeah,
information today. I
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
Andrew, you can go, and then I'm gonna I'll hop in after you. My hand keeps going down for some reason.
All right. So you mentioned you put your price in your SKUs, but I've been doing seller fulfilled, and I noticed that it's on top of the label. So, because I bought some socks from Kohl's, and it literally said Kohl's on top of the label that I printed for seller fulfilled, and I was like, okay, that's not good because they might just see that and be like, wait, I can buy this at Kohl's cheaper. So I put a little thank you sticker to cover it, and I just been doing that until I sell out of that one. I'm just gonna redo my SKU if I end up replanning it, but I just wanted to mention that because you said you put your price.
Yeah, I know that I think there's a way to remove that. We were talking about it in my mastermind group a couple days ago. I will let me talk to Chad, and he's my computer guy. I'm not. I'm like I like to say I'm the brute of the operation, but I'll talk to Chad. Like we were bouncing ideas about how to have that removed. I think it's just a formatting thing, because I never did a SKU before, but then obviously like trying to keep up with all the prices, and then like the one thing with Walmart is you buy something at a certain price and you might see it cheaper 3 days later. So I know somebody was like, well, what do you do when the price is cheaper? I was like, just sell it at the previous price. And, because I don't want my repricer to price it lower just because I got it cheaper. So sometimes like the repricer, I'll put in a different price so that it prices it higher. But yeah, I noticed that too a couple weeks ago.
Okay, yeah. Because I was digging around. I was like, how do I delete this or can I change it? Because like it's seller fulfilled, so hopefully it was gonna let me. But like it kept saying it was being updated, but it never really changed. And I was like,
Right.
I don't know. I was like, okay, I just know not to do that like for the future. Because like I don't want all the information there, and then the customer's
Oh
like,
yeah, for sure.
what is this?
Yeah, I
And
don't
they
know why
can't
they
deal
would
with that.
do that anyway. It doesn't make any sense. But
No, it doesn't. It's weird.
All right, I'll go here. So you got into like the whole RA thing, like expressing how much you enjoy RA. I'm right there with you. I want to be out there. I don't want to sit at a computer. I let my VAs do all the OA stuff. But can you give me a little rundown? Like, what would be the process RA shopping? Like, how, just the process, I guess. Yeah.
so basically, I get up in the morning, put my pants on, make my girlfriend cook me right now. I'm just right now I'm taking
It's
care of.
good you put your pants on.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I get up and I hit the stores. I try to get to, um, my first Walmart by like 7 o'clock. It depends on what I'm sourcing for, right? Like on Amazon, I do a lot of apparel. I try to do things that sell $60 plus, because I don't want to have to source that many units to be able to do the volume that I want to do and make the money that I want to make. So I do a lot of apparel. I'm at Ross. I'm at Marshalls. I would say Ross and Marshalls are probably like my two favorite stores. Maybe some Dick's Warehouse sale or going on or Big Lots, whatever. With Walmart, I'm mainly sourcing from Walmart. So I'll get to my first Walmart at 7 o'clock and I literally will scan everything I can in clearance. I'm looking
With the Walmart app.
Yeah, with a shopping app for sure. Because I'm looking at number of sellers and I'm looking at what the price is. And sometimes, most of the times the price will match the sticker. Sometimes it won't, whatever. And in my head, like I kind of know, right? Like what it's selling for. And then a lot of times right now, like because I've been doing it all year, a lot of times I see the same stuff, right? I will say this, I'll hit the clearance aisle. And then obviously the stuff that is winning or that I picked goes in my cart. Now, generally speaking, I scan with Scan Power. That's my go-to. And the reason I have that is it has a button in the top right-hand corner where I can toggle. After I scan the item, I can toggle back and forth to Amazon and Walmart. So the Walmart will give me the Walmart data, what it's selling for on Walmart, if it has any seller badges, how many sellers, what the stock level is, how many reviews, the percent of the reviews that are verified purchase, gives me all that. I can also, but then I can hit Amazon and I get more data, right? I can look at the Keep a chart. I can look at the average price on Amazon for 60, 90, 180, 365 days. I don't necessarily need all that data, but I like it because the more data, the better with Walmart. And if the price is consistent on Amazon, the price is probably pretty consistent on Walmart as well. And that's my biggest thing with Walmart is price volatility, because Walmart is similar to Amazon, but Walmart will price match anybody, and they're very slow to rebound the price unless they run out of stock. So I'll do that. And then the cool thing about ScanPower is I can create a buy list for Amazon and Walmart at the same time. So when I get home, my buy lists are already separated. Because I will forget what I bought what for. And then once I get out of the store, I can't really scan the shopping app anymore because when I scan it, I only see the online price when I get home. And I'm like, why the hell did I buy this? Where is it going? But I do, and like I said, I scan and go, whatever's in the cart, I scan it, put the quantity in, whatever. That way when I get the register. But a couple key things. Clearance can be everywhere with Walmart, right? They got the clearance aisle, which a lot of times has the giant yellow thing over it. They also have clearance on the shelves. So if you see something, right, the clearance aisle only holds so much, right? If you see something on the shelf, right, that's a toy, find it in the toy section because you can probably find more of it, or you can find other toys that are on clearance that might have not moved to the clearance section yet. Also, if you find something on the shelf that is on clearance and there's only like one or two, Walmart's extra stock is on the top shelf. So if you look up, you'll find more, right? Because I'm trying to maximize my trip, right? I want to make as much money per store, per hour, whatever your metric is. I don't want to be out here just hanging out in Walmart. Like I got better shit to do. So that's what I'll do, right? And then I'll hit 2 or 3 Walmarts. If I'm local, I'll come home, have lunch, take the dogs out, whatever. If I'm traveling, I'm probably sourcing probably until like 10 o'clock at night. Like I will source. I like road trips. My son used to live in Houston, so I used to drive from Orlando to Houston, and I would shop all the way there. I'd spend 2 or 3 days with my son. I would shop Houston while he was working, and then I would shop back. I would take a 6x12 U-Haul trailer with me. I would fill it up, and when it was full, I'd stop shopping. And sometimes, like if I was really bored and he was working a lot, I would do a shipment for Walmart while I was in Texas and just send it there. I take my scanner with me. I take my thermal printer, whatever. My dad lives in Nashville. I do the same thing. Go see my dad. I like to go places where I know people because I'm cheap and I don't want to pay for a hotel. So I will hit, however many stores. A lot of times, like if I'm traveling, it's source from probably 7 until 3. Then wherever I'm at, I'm getting a hotel. I'll stop and get a hotel. I'll grab lunch, take a nap, and then I go back because I don't want to be at Walmart from like 5 to 8 when everybody's there buying their dinner or whatever. Don't like it. And then it just depends on, now when I come home, it's a different story. When I come home, I'm basically looking at the items that I found and the items that I know that are really good sellers or items that I've determined are sellers. And I'm pulling up my stock checker, whether you use Moonitor, whether you use Tempo, BrickSeek if you want to be really cheap and not have accurate information, whatever. I'll throw the UPC in the stock checker and whatever zip code I'm at, and I will see every Walmart in a 50-mile radius, and it will give me the stock, the price, and the aisle that it's located on. So I will highlight like my top 10 UPCs, and those will be kind of like my goal for that trip. And I'll add other UPCs to it along the way, but I'll run that those 10 UPCs in the stock checker. And then what it does is it gives me a list of all the Walmarts and their stock level. I'll export that into Excel, and I'll do a little copy and paste and some functions. And I basically will look at how many of those 10 UPCs I can find, the price that I can find it at, and what the profit is at per Walmart, right? So I might get 15 Walmarts. And hold on, I might have maybe, let's see. I might have one. I can show it to you. But basically then, now that I've done that, I've got basically an idea of how much profit I'm going to make per Walmart. So then I start at the Walmart where I'm going to make the most money at, or the closest Walmart to me, right? So I know I'm going from here to Nashville, right? So if I do that, I'll take 10 or 15 UPCs and I'll plug it in. Like I'm not going to drive, I think it's like 14 hours. I'm not going to drive 14 hours. I guess it's going to take me 2 days to get there, right? So I'm going to shop, for 8 hours today along the way. I'm going to try to find Walmarts as close to the interstate as possible. And then when I get to wherever I'm going to stop, I'm going to stop. And then, but I'll have a list along the highway or whatever. And I know that, okay, this Walmart, I'm going to make $400 at. But this Walmart, I'm going to make $800 at. So I might hit them both, but I might hit the first one first on my way where I'm going. And the second one I'm going to hit on my way home. Because every trip is like, in my mind, is how do I maximize the profitability of my trip, right? And then when I get where I'm going, right, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be here for a couple days. Well, now if I want to stay an extra day, like, and this is how I started Amazon, right? My girlfriend tells me all the time I don't take enough time off. I work too much. I want to go on vacation. Where do you want to go? Let's go to the beach. We live on the beach. What do we have to go? So I'm like, all right, cool. Well, we're going to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the goal is Friday morning before we check into the hotel, we have to source enough stuff Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. to pay for the 3-day trip. Right. And then that got my girlfriend to buy in because so now she's obsessed. She's like, oh, I made this buy list. Here's how much money we're going to make so we can stay an extra day. And now we don't have to go home until Tuesday because Monday is a holiday and Amazon and Walmart are closed. We don't have to ship. So I created a monster, but it's a profit-filled monster, which is fine with me. So I do a lot of that where I try to map out trips, but sometimes I'm basically just throwing a UPC in the stock checker and I'll see because the cool thing about Walmart is the price will be here and then it's going to be here and then it's going to be here and then it's going to be here. Now there's no rhyme or reason for which stores clearance what when, but if you hit the same stores enough, like, okay, this store is in a really bad area. They clearance everything first. This store, really good area, they don't clearance shit. So now you don't ever even go to that store unless you're looking for something that's full price. But you can kind of get a routine. And then I hand out business cards everywhere I go. It just has my name, my phone number, and my business name on it. And then I'm like, hey, listen, the next time you guys put out a bunch of clearance, could you give me a call? Like, I would really appreciate it. They called me the first time, 10, you like Starbucks or Dunkin', everybody has a choice. I keep $10 gift cards to both in my pocket at all times. And, if I only find a couple things, I'm giving the gift card out anyway, just because they called me. But if I find a bunch of stuff, I might give 2 or 3 gift cards, right? I don't want to give them cash because I don't want them to get in trouble, right? But at the same time, I want to set myself apart because if you've ever been in retail, you know that especially people at Walmart, they get treated like crap. So the better you treat people, the better they're going to treat you. I know multiple sellers in the Walmart space that literally run a 6-figure a month business off of 5 Walmarts that they just create a relationship with, and they know when everything's going on clearance. So they can either get there first or they can wait till they get to the lowest price. And you just have to, kind of find that balance. But that's kind of what I do. So, I mean, in some days, like if I don't feel like doing shit, like last week, I was on a bolo. I don't know, somebody here is in who's in my Q4 group? Tim, are you in the Q4 group? Yeah. So there's a bolo in our group. I won't give it to you because people pay for it. But I was throwing it in the stock checker and I found like 25 in Miami. So I was like, I'm bored. I drove to Miami. I picked up 25. I got them for $40 a piece. I sold them for 130. I sold all 100. I sold all 25 in I think like 34 hours. So did a little quick math. I made like $1,200 to drive to Miami. And I drove to Miami, had dinner at my favorite Cuban place on the planet, and drove home in the rain. One day after a hurricane. My girlfriend thought I was crazy. So sometimes I'll do stuff like that. Like it's a quick $1,000 and I don't really want to, my brain doesn't want to work. I just want to have like a nice, easy day. Boom, drive 3 hours to Miami, drive home. Easy like that. But sometimes they're more intense. It really just depends on what I got going on in the business. And what I got going on personally. So
cool. One thing here. The stock checker. What were the stock checkers?
So I really like Tempo, but Tempo has a 1 to 2 minute cooldown between UPC runs. And they basically, the way Tempo is formatted is it prints out, it shows you the stores closest to you first. Moonitor is, it does the lowest price first. So, but there's no cooldown. So I can punch in like 20 UPCs in like a minute and a half and just export all the data later.
Cool. Thank you for that answer there.
No problem.
Jennifer?
Okay, so I had one other question. I've been writing them down. It's great because you answered so many of the questions. Like I'm writing questions and you're answering them, like the whole Zoom. This one was, when it comes to like brands, do a lot of the items that you're selling require ungated, or are there a lot of like auto ungates? And is there a list somewhere of like restricted ones that we should stay away from?
So a lot of brands are auto ungated. LOL was auto ungated for me, right? It's red restricted on Amazon. Nobody can sell it. LOL was like the first thing that everybody always thought, oh, I want to sell LOL. Everybody loves these fucking dolls. But certain brands like Rainbow High, auto ungate, LOL, auto ungate. Brands I had to get ungated for, Disney, Star Wars, Lego, but one item and a Walmart receipt. I literally went to the store one day. I bought one Lego, one Disney princess bullshit, one Pokemon, one Squishmallow, whatever. And I did 6 separate cases to get ungated in all 6 brands with one item of each. And I used the same receipt for all 6. And I got approved. So now they might change it, whatever. If you've got ungated on Amazon, they take Amazon invoices, right? So if you have something that you used, I think they go back 12 months. So if you have old invoices that you used to get ungated on Amazon, just use those if it requires it. Certain categories have to get ungated. Halloween is a category. Don't know why. You have to get ungated for that. Collectibles, you have to get authorized to sell and not ungated. Restricted brands. So unfortunately, there's not a master list. What I usually do is I add the item in store to see what the error message is, right? So you get your common error messages requires approval, is restricted based on partnership with Walmart. So that's like the Miss Rachel dolls. If you've seen those pieces of shit that everybody bought hundreds of, I buy them for $29, selling them for $80. Like they went restricted on Amazon first. The whole listing got deleted on Walmart like last week. Then it popped back up like 3 days ago, and now they have a partnership with Miss Rachel. But you can still sell everything Melissa and Doug. So Walmart is very quirky in that scenario. But if you need a Miss Rachel doll for the low, hit me up. I think I have 40. But any Walmart brand is going to be restricted. So Athletic Works with an X for like workout stuff, Heart Tools, Mainstays in the Home Goods, Better Homes and Gardens, Adventure Force in toys. They make like some gun, like it's like their knockoff Nerf. So anything that's a Walmart brand, I could probably email you guys a list. I got a list somewhere of certain things. Certain brands were restricted, but now require ungating. HP, if you like to do ink, HP was restricted, but now you can actually apply. Oral-B was restricted, but now you can apply to get ungated. Walmart is all over the board. Yeah, I could probably email Brian and Andrew a list of this is stuff that I know is hard gated right now.
Okay, Andrew.
So how do you know when you need to get something ungated? Do you attempt to add it to your inventory and then just see what it says?
Yeah, so when you add something to your inventory, seller fulfilled, it's going to give you, I think, 4 options, right? It's going to say published, unpublished, processing, or error, right? If it gives you an error message, you can hover over that, and then it'll tell you what the error is. It could be, prohibited due to IP complaint. It could be requires approval, which is what it'll usually say. It could say, restricted due to partnership with Walmart and the brand. There's a couple other error messages like comp is one, biz is one. Comp you can get around sometimes. It needs some type of compliance form, but like bike helmets or something. Biz is almost the same as like an IP issue. I don't think you can get around it. But yeah, if it's a new brand that I want to carry, I just add it in the store. I just got ungated on KitchenAid 2 months and 3 days. That's how long it took to get ungated.
Okay. Yeah, because I was selling a product and like there were different variations, but they were I was able to sell through on some of them, but certain ones didn't let me post it. I think it said IP. I already deleted it.
I
This was
have
a while ago, but
so I have
it was
a
weird. It was the same brand.
yeah, I have a brand of deodorant. I have like 11 scents, and I had one of the scents that had. I sent them all into WFS. One of them said it was suspected pesticide. And I'm like, but you have other sellers selling it. So if it's has a pesticide, they won't let you WFS it, but you can sell or fulfill it. So I had to do a removal order. And as soon as I put it back in my inventory, I sold like 4 self-fulfilled that day. I was like, yo, you guys are killing me right now. Like, what's going on? So it's just one of those things where that's a battle you're not going to be able to win right now because they're so understaffed. They are crazy. Like, it's just certain things that I say, like, fight it with all your might, like get ungated in everything you possibly can. But certain things, whether it's like the comp error is, I've never got a comp error approved. And some of the I did talk to them about it at the summit, and what they were telling me is that it might be an issue of like a lot of my stuff goes to Jersey, so it might be an issue. Whereas I could WFS it in Florida, but Jersey's not allowed to because of some chemical that's in the product. But because they have so few fulfillment centers, they can't really send it to a fulfillment center where it's legal for them. Like they don't have the logistics figured out of like, okay, this item can't be sold in Jersey. We have to send it to Florida, and they're not able to figure that out ahead of time. So it happens after it gets to the warehouse, unfortunately, with a lot of items. Not a lot, but enough to make it problematic.
Kim?
So you list your items while you're shopping if it's something new that you've never sold before.
I try to list everything seller fulfilled, especially if it's new, a new brand, just to see what the issue is or if it's published. And then I'm definitely not opposed to listing it seller fulfilled while I'm in the store shopping. I mean, maybe it sells and then I'm still there and I just go grab more of it. Especially if it sells that quick. But one of the things that I look for when I'm scanning with a shopping app is, you know, sometimes too, it'll tell you like has 8 sellers, right? 8 other sellers. But when you go to add it, it'll tell you there's like 26 sellers. And so sometimes there's a glitch there because sometimes it'll pull sellers that still have it active but no stock. So it's important to, be looking at the right data. So sometimes I'll add it, especially if I'm going to go deep on something, I'll add it to try to get more accurate information because if there's 23 people selling it versus 3, I'm definitely not going as deep as I would have.
Yeah, right now I've been trying to do a little bit more OA. And so what I was doing is I was just adding things to my inventory even if I haven't bought it. It's not,
For sure.
you can't sell it until you add your stock, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean, yeah, you can use what I use my UPC finder, I think is what it's called. It's like an OA extension to get to the UPC. Because that's the other thing is if you have the UPC, you also need to know like if it's going to a prep center, what the labeling requirements are going to be when they get it. So
I was using like Seller Amp just to sometimes they have the UPC on there and I was like but like I just found out I can't do Mario Badescu, that brand, that beauty brand. It's not allowed, I guess. And then there's some things that I have sent in that are published, I've sold, and then it'll unpublish and I look at the reason and it says IP. So I'm like, well, I guess it got gated. But then
I just open a case.
Yeah, and then it republished. It republished it there. So I'm like, did I IP or
I had a scooter that I sold. I only sold Walmart fulfilled. I bought 30 of them on Amazon. That's for like $30. I sold them all on Walmart for $95. I sent them all into WFS. I never sold it seller fulfilled. And I had 10 in stock at Walmart. So I was going to get ready to have it in my my ASIN monitor. So it's like I'm always scanning, keep alert, whatever. I mean, I use Flip Alert. So Flip Alert monitor is always scanning for us. So I was like, oh, let me see, like maybe the price drops. And the very next day, I sold one seller fulfilled. And I was like, wait a minute. I've never sold this seller fulfilled. What's going on? And I had to cancel it. But that is something you're just never going to get around right now with Walmart. I've had items that are unpublished with a price match issue, but when I look at the price, I'm priced below Walmart. And I'm like, so now it's too low. So that's probably the most common one. But yeah, listen, I've gotten approved to sell Squishmallow 3 times this year. And I have over 100 units that's been at Walmart fulfilled that are all still error unpublished because it all says I required approval. I've opened like 7 cases. And every time I open a case, they're like, oh, we're going to close the case because you already got it. I was like, wait a minute. Don't close the damn case. I'm like, I've been approved to sell Squishmallow since February. Just publish my listings. I have like 11 separate listings that are unpublished. And I've submitted the same receipt 3 different times and got approved 3 different times. I got approved in February. I got approved in April and I got approved in August. And all my listings, I'm like, listen, if I can't sell it, just tell me I can't sell it. But there's other people on the listings and I just want to sell my shit. And
then you have to be paying attention to your emails too, because if you get that email, what do they give you? Like a couple, like 2 days to reply?
They say they give you 5 days, which is crazy because they don't work on the weekends. I will tell you this, if you send in the wrong UPC, I literally had somebody from the warehouse call me. Like they called me, they sent me a picture to my email. They're like, hey, this is what you said you sent, but this is what you sent. Can you add this to your catalog so that we can list it for you? And I was like, seriously? They're like, yes. They're like, but we have to charge you 40 cents a unit because I was like, I don't care. I got you. And 2 hours later it was live. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
And another thing that's kind of different is that you can see your phone number, so the customers can call you
Yeah,
directly.
I did.
I've had that happen to
I
me.
had that happen to me recently, but I know you can get a Google number for like, I think like either free or really cheap. But I'm like, it doesn't stop the fact that they call me. Like, whether they
Yeah.
call the Google, I mean, just because they don't have my cell phone, like, I don't know. Sometimes I think about calling other sellers and be like, why are you taking this? Can you raise the price, please?
Are you stupid?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't answer calls that I don't have, that are not listed on my phone. So, but then I got like a message saying like the customer is reaching out to you. So then they called me again and I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, I had some lady call me about something and she said it was broke. And I was like, I explained to her what it was, and it wasn't broke. It was one of those circle cups that you put the cartridge in the top.
okay,
And she was like, there's no top. And I was like, it's not supposed to be. I was like, that's what you put the
that's
cartridge
so
in.
true. Yeah.
I was like, that's what the flavor's in. And then you like drink out of it. And then like I was like, just send it back to me. Whatever, I'll refund you. She's like, well, do you have another one? I was like, I do. She's like, can I have it? I was like, yeah, if you send it back to me, I'll send you a new one. I'm like, but it's not gonna have the top either. I'm like, I literally will send you a picture. And then like 3 days later, like I get a text message from somebody, and the dude's like, yeah, my wife's been trying to send her cup back. And I was like, buddy, I was like, all you gotta do is drive to your closest Walmart. They'll take it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, get it back to me somehow.
Yeah. The man that called me ended up being like like happy. I don't think he left me a review. He should have. But he was like, it was like an atom, like the rock from the movie, the something atom. And it was like the character and had a throne. And
Oh,
he,
Black Adam, the movie.
yeah, there you go, Black Adam. He's like, um, I'm just buying like the throne. And then I was like, well, is that the throne that you wanted? He's like, yeah. And I was like, well, now you got a
You
new
got a free figure with
figure.
it.
And he's like,
I will
oh,
say,
well, like he was happy. So I was like, okay, goodbye.
I will say that about Walmart is like if you're in the know on things like movies, uh, pop culture, things that are going on, like right now, like I know this sounds crazy, but Minecraft is in April of next year. That movie, like Minecraft toys are going to go crazy. The Sonic movie doesn't come out till Christmas. Those toys are going insane. There's certain brands that are always going to do well, like Transformers. The Transformers movie just came out yesterday, Transformers 1. So if you're in the know on that kind of stuff, like you can kind of see the popularity. Like I'm surprised that freaking the new Godzilla figures that just came out, they had the same four from the previous one, but they had two new ones, and the new ones are flying like crazy. Like buying store like $9, sell for like $40. So, and that movie was like, oh, Jurassic World. I don't know if you guys seen those dinosaurs. The freaking puppeteer dinosaur, the T Rex and the Raptor. You can get them in store for like $20. They sell for like $90 right now. They're insane. We wore everybody out.
You got us a lot of good information. A lot of good information.
That
Yeah,
Jurassic Park
great.
Puppeteer was actually my first sale. And I published it last week because I barely got approved, and that was my first sale. But I priced it too low.
Was it
After
the
I it
T-Rex or
sold
the Raptor?
the Raptor, the blue one,
Oh man, if you find the blue one,
and I
it's
bought those. I got the T-Rex and the Raptor. I actually sent my wife because I saw them. I found those for $10.
yep. Yeah, the Raptor right now is going for $90. If you guys find them, it's a little hand puppet, but it goes inside. It looks like the T-Rex and the blue Raptor from Jurassic World, and that movie's not coming out till next summer, but they're already releasing new figures. But the hand puppet, they were on clearance at 29. The T-Rex right now is selling for like 60, but the blue is like limited edition, selling for like $90 right now. It's insane. But that's another good thing. If you find something like that, you throw the UPC in the stock checker. It might be worth it driving 2-3 hours to find 10 of something that you can make $1,000 on. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the name of the game sometimes, especially in Q4. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. If y'all need anything, obviously you got my tag handle. Friend me, DM me, whatever.
Why don't you
Especially the two people
drop
that
your
need.
Joey, drop your Venmo too, so we can just buy you a drink. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Amanda
I,
wants to send you a $10 Dunkin' gift card.
I run on Ghost, so
All right.
yeah, funneled on Ghost today. I had an hour and a half call before this too, so I'm spent.
Oh, there you go.
Train us.
Appreciate you.
Nah, it's good. It's good.
And you don't show
Guys
any
are ever
signs of slowing down.
if you're ever in Orlando and you want to do some sourcing, hit me up.
Give me 1 week. I'll be there.
Yeah, I think me and Brian are going this weekend. So he lives like 30 minutes from me. So
Yeah, I met Brian in Miami Sellers Conference.
okay, yeah, I was supposed to go, but I forget what I had to do. I was somewhere. Oh, you know what? I was at a meetup somewhere. I forget where though. Yeah, he was trying to get me to come. So
It was a good time. You go to the next one?
I might.